Next, I'm going to call upon our second speech, which is Dre. And Dre's connecting. Do you need the clicker?
I don't know.
You got your own. Very good. So now let's give Dre a welcome.
Last week, I had the chance to see the National Championship speaker of Toastmasters, Ramona J Smith. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how she did it. This is a photo of a champion. Pretty handsome guy, don't you think? Just kidding. That's Ramona. A picture of me, Ramona, last week during her presentation. She gave a keynote speech on how she could deconstruct her winning speech. Number one, be authentic. Authenticity is key. Be fearless. Be yourself. It's important to be yourself. She actually had comments about how animated she was. But that's Ramona J Smith. She's naturally animated. So she's like, to hell with those comments, that's me. Keep it general. If you notice, her topics were about relationships, education, and public speaking. If you talk about Christmas, not everyone will know about it. We're in an international competition. Talk about something that everyone can relate to. Keep your title less than 10 syllables. Why? She just said there's a study on it, and it just works. So keep it under 10 syllables. Make sure your appearance is simple and clean. Remove distracting things. Have you noticed? I remove my lanyard every time I come up here. And it's something I don't want you to distract you guys with. Open with your closing, and close with your opening. Think about that. You want to let your audience know about what you're about to tell them and what they're going to get out of your presentation. And then at the end, bring it back and sum it all up. Left to right. This is a tactic where you start on the left side of the stage, and when you tell your story, you walk to the right. What is this? The stage becomes your book. We all lead, or most of us reads from left to right. So when you start your story, start from the left, and as you go on with your story, walk to your right. Holograms and statues. This is something that a lot of public speakers on stage will do. It's about placing a hologram on this part of the stage, or a statue, another hologram on this part of the stage, and another hologram on this part of the stage. It's about 3 different points. In her speech, she talked about public speaking here, relationships here, and here about education. Separate yourself in points to holograms and statues. The build-up. You want devastation to elevation. You don't want to have your people wanting to give you a hug after your speech because they feel sorry for you. You want to give them nice fist pumps and be excited for what you just told them. So give them that fist pump. Make it personal. When she spoke here, she talked about education. She went on how she didn't pass for about 4 years and finally graduated cum laude. Here, she actually was talking about relationships, how her first marriage lasted for 8 months, and she's still working hard at it. And over here, she talked about public speaking, and how she actually went to the finals before, but failed. And she went on talking about how she became the championship speaker. Connect. You want to connect with your audience. You want to make sure that you know what I'm talking about. You want to make sure we have something familiar, something relatable. I'm wearing a Toastmasters shirt because you guys notice. You guys are Toastmasters. How can you relate? Bring them into your conversation? You. Do you ever get this nervous? I'm pretty nervous up here. Do you know how it is to give a championship speech? Have you ever given a speech? Humor. Don't forget humor, but don't force it in. Make sure you bring in an expert. You can always give a dog's favorite vegetable. That works. Arugula. But don't force in your humor. Just bring it in and let it happen naturally. Or go to a specialized group. We have a Toastmasters called Speak with Laughter and Conquer, I believe, and you can always get some pointers there. Use props. She threw in a towel, and when I was there watching her, I actually had the privilege live to watch her on stage. And I was like, ooh, right when she said it, because she threw it right at the moment when she was throwing the towel, and she pulled it out of nowhere, like how I just did it here. I used my lanyard as a prop. Toastmaster Basics. Come on, we have to always remember our body language, hand gestures, eye contact, and vocal variety. That's my favorite exercise. A lot of you here know my favorite vocal exercise. Remember? Wee! Aww. Wee! Aww. What is your phrase that pays? Hers was still standing. For me, what was catchy that you remember? From devastation to elevation? Was it? And finally, the CTA. How many of you all know what a CTA is? There we go. Call to action. You want your audience to do something after you're done with your speech. Have them carry on the message. I hope you found some of these tips helpful. As a matter of fact, if you found one gold nugget, can I get a fist bump in the air? Now that's a photo of champions.
Long distance handshake. For the guests, we traditionally shake hands and clap every time there's a change of speaker. With that, we've completed our prepared speeches.